Greetings, all. I am StrawhatOtakuDrew, and we're here on this happy Christmas Eve in order to look at the two newest episodes of the anime that have aired since my last stream, and to check out the new chapter of the manga that dropped today. So, I'm only going to delay another moment in order to wish everybody a Merry Otak Christmas. Or whatever holiday you celebrate. And if you don't celebrate any holidays, then I just hope you're having a great day. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive in. We got stuff to get through. Luffy no Yume. Luffy's dream. Yeah, I don't think Rayleigh would be able to stand up to Blackbeard. Yeah. And he doesn't either. It's not that her neck is small, it's just you got giant ass hands. I mean, at the moment, she couldn't turn him back even if she wanted to. You got your hands on her, taking her devil fruit powers away. Luffy doesn't. Wow. Damn. Really means business. That was some serious color of the Supreme King. I agree with her. seeing Kuma here like this hits different now. Now that we've seen most of his flashback. I need to get that as a ringtone on my phone. That put it. Shit, is this when Lucia's gonna get wiped out? Eh? Barrel boy there. Right. You think? Not a valid comparison. Not a valid comparison. Ace and Vivi are two different people with two completely different skill sets. Yeah. cross guild. Yeah, of course he is. Interesting. Don't think I ever expected to hear "We Are" in this kind of style. Robin's reaction. Well, all right, there. End of the ending theme. What the? You have got to be fucking kidding me. Very special feature. Momonosuke's road to becoming a great shogun. Oh my god. We finally got out of Wano. Why? 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 Toei, what the actual fuck? Why? Why? We finally got out of Wano. Uh, oh my god. Well, that was a really good episode. I loved actually getting to see the reactions of the various Straw Hats to Luffy's dream, his true dream. Robin's reaction in particular interested me. Early in the episode, I loved the way it showed Rayleigh showing up, swinging around his big ass hockey. That just damn. I mean, yeah, I don't think he could take Blackbeard. Even he said that he couldn't take Blackbeard, but Blackbeard definitely looked nice. So yeah, and I can't say I would blame him. Hell, I probably would have passed out from all the hockey flying around. But if somehow I didn't, I'd still be scared shitless. Um, as I said during the reaction, seeing Kuma in that state just hits different now that we've seen most of his flashback. That down, getting a little teary just thinking about that. And Dragon, just damn. There are two schools of thought that I've heard on Dragon. One is he's a horrible person because he doesn't go rescue his people and all that when they in trouble because he ditched out on Luffy when he was a kid and all this. And then the other is that he's a great person because he's sacrificing his own happiness in order to fight for the freedom of the world, and that it they're recognizing that it hurts him not to be able to go rescue his friends when they're in trouble, but he and every member of the Revolutionary Army realizes that the cause is bigger than any one individual. So they can't risk everything to go get one person. Okay, yeah, I agree with that. But right here, he talking about if Sabo really killed Cobra, I'm never gonna forgive him. Uh, so you actually believe in this might be true? Everyone else talking about there's no way. He couldn't have done it. That's not Sabo. And in other instances, we've seen other people the dragon knows accused of shit. And he just, oh nope, can't that can't be true. But with the shit with Sabo, he actually accepting it as a real possibility. What does that say about how he feels about Sabo? If he has this little trust for Sabo, how in the hell did he ever make Sabo his second in command? It's stupid. Wow. Well, that was a really good episode, though. I'm very pleased with that. I with the part with Sabo talking to the revolutionaries cutting off where it did and it didn't come back to it on that episode, I would guess that the next episode would include the destruction of Lulusia. But we're about to go on to the next episode, and it's bullshit. Even though we're finally done with Wano, we're not done with Wano. Imbeciles. Imbeciles. There is so much slack that could be picked up and filled in with all of this stuff going on elsewhere in the world. We could see more of the shit that happened in Marijua. We could see more of the shit going on at Hachinosu. We could see more of the shit going on with the Revolutionary Army. We could see more of the shit that goes on at Winter Island between Law and Blackbeard. We could see more of the shit that goes on at Elbaf between Kid and Shanks. If you absolutely need to pad out the buffer between where the anime is and where the manga is, do AO stuff that fills in some of that shit. And Egghead itself, there's at least one glaring hole in Egghead in the manga, and that is how in the hell did we go from the readers just found out who the traitor is to the next chapter, even though nobody knew at the end of the last chapter the identity of the traitor. Now we've got the traitor in custody and everything's fine, and we got a couple injured people. You could make a whole freaking episode out of that. Come on now. There is a shit ton of stuff that can be added into the reverie / post reverie shit, the Hachinosu stuff, the Winter Island stuff, the Elbaf stuff, and Egghead itself. There is so much shit in there that you can add to drive up your episode count, that going back to Wano and inserting more shit now that we're finally away from Wano, all you're doing is pissing off your audience. I can attest to that personally because I am part of that audience and I'm pissed. I'm going to watch this episode purely out of completionist's sake. But damn it, I'm pissed. This is bullshit. This is unnecessary. What the actual fuck, Toei? Stop it. Okay. Now, It's not even listed as episode 1089. It's special 11. All right. SP11. BS11. Here we go. Yeah, and all y'all aren't relevant to the story right now. Not nervous. I'm annoyed as hell. No, it doesn't sound good. Shut up, Yamato. What's nerve wracking is that we're doing Wano again. No, let's not. Leave. Don't care. Another possibility, if they absolutely feel like they need to pad out the episode numbers and build up more of a buffer between anime and manga, go animate some of the fucking cover stories. We've got the Anaru cover story. We've got Barrel Boy's cover story that could show everybody how the hell he got to where he is now. We've got cover stories that have not been animated. There is an abundance of shit, canon and non-canon, pulled straight from the manga or AO, either one, that can be done. Stop it with this damned Wano shit. Oh, y'all colorblind? We've already seen all this shit. If you got to do Wano shit, at least do new Wano shit. Give us a fucking Barrel Boy cover story. Give us fucking Another's cover story. Give us a German cover story. We've seen this shit. Hmm. Hmm. Not only is it more Wano bullshit, it's more Wano recap bullshit. We just fucking watched this. Thank God. You don't have to work harder. The animation team does. During a new chapter, Luffy and Sabo's paths. Mm-hmm. Well, I have more to say about the next episode preview than I do about the episode we just watched there. Indeed, my review of this episode is probably going to be the shortest review that I will ever do on this channel. This episode was god awful and should not exist. Review over. Now, let's take a look at that next episode preview. From what it did show, I feel like I was right. The next real episode does indeed look like it will have the destruction of Lulusia Kingdom. I look forward to that one. But Toei needs to cut this shit out. I'm pissed. We finally escaped Wano, damn it. Quit trying to drag us back. Anyways. Now that we're done with the episode reviews, on to what I'm really waiting for. Manga chapter 1102. Kuma's life. Reader request. Bonnie eating hot dog after hot dog being painstakingly prepared by ravenous wolves. Okay. Listen up, swabbies. I I mean, she's 10 years old. I can only guess that she is acting like what she thinks a pirate is supposed to be. And what a 10-year-old is going to think a pirate is supposed to be is the absolute cliche of a pirate. So, yeah, listen up, swabbies. Yeah. I've seen so many other One Piece YouTubers talking about, mm, well, he must not have found out that Bonnie escaped because then he could have gone and tried to meet with her. No, he couldn't. He made a promise. Kuma has honor, too much honor to break his word. She wants to look for Nika also. Oh, you found one of them. Uh, so that tells us definitively where in the timeline we are right now. Mugiwara no Luffy has just defeated Arlong. Mugiwara no Luffy, 30 million berries. Wow, that was a long time ago. Wait, they're romanizing it as Rogue Town? But didn't didn't Viz always romanize it as Logtown? What the I confused. Was Damn. And I don't have access to the Viz translation of the Logtown chapters. Is this confirmation that top hat dude in the crowd at Logtown is Sabo? With Dragon and Sabo talking about going to Logtown? Ace bragging to Jinbei. These are the ironclad laws of piratey behavior. Steal whatever you want from bad guys. Don't help other people unless they need it. Oh, I love Bonnie. She's great. Yeah, why not? Pretty sure that's how you apply lipstick. I'm all grown up. So my cheek is so daddy can recognize me. He knows. Yeah, I would find that eerie too. Walk into a room with a shitload of me in various tanks around the room. Yeah, I just like that. No, 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 that ain't right. Something ain't that. No, Boy who declared war on the world government. So did we jump ahead to NES lobby night? Yep, he did the math. Almost like Nika, the figure I admire so much. Thriller Bark. Okay, seeing him use Ursa Shock here in the Thriller Bark part of the flashback actually raises a question in my mind. Something that occurred to me when I read the chapter where we first saw the memory bubble. Obviously, before I was doing chapter reviews. At some point, I will do reviews of earlier chapters, but not right now. But I have wondered ever since we saw that memory bubble. Think about Zoro's nothing moment. When he took Irufi's pain on himself, that bubble was absorbed into him. So no one else can take on that pain. Zoro took it, so it's not there anymore for Sanji or Brooke or Frankie or anyone else to touch and take on. Now, what about the memory bubble? When Bonnie took on those memories, did it work just like with the pain bubble, that it was absorbed into her? So now that memory bubble does not exist anymore. The memories that it contained now only exist in Bonnie's memory? Or was she able to take on those memories without the memory bubble being absorbed into her, so the memory bubble still exists? And if so, why could it be done with the memories but not the pain? Both of those are insubstantial things. They're not things that should be able to be touched. So they should work in the same way. So if it's different, why is it different? Answer us that, Oda Sensei. Please. I want to know. I need to figure out how to write into the SBS thing. I want to ask that. If anybody from Japan watches this and cares to submit that question to the SBS on behalf of Straw Hat Otaku Drew, or I guess if you want to claim the question for yourself, please ask Oda Sensei. Does the memory bubble disappear when someone takes on the memories in the same way the pain bubble did? And if it's different, why is it different? Please ask somebody. Oda Sensei, if you see this, count this as my submission for the SBS. I want to know, please. Onegai. All right, where was I? Oh, Ursa Shock. That just reminded me, because Ursa Shock is taking the form of a big bubble, of course, paw-shaped bubble, just like the memory bubble. Gasp. Even I might pass out from this one. Yeah. Near Shibundi Archipelago. The Romanizing ace's name as Portgaz with a D. All right, here we are at Shibondi now. Bonnie has been my favorite of the supernovas ever since her introduction. And this whole thing with her backstory, her and Kuma's backstory, has just justified that. She always struck me as interesting. Not even any reason I can put my finger on, just something about her was interesting. Probably the mystery about her. The fact that I can't put my finger on it is probably exactly what I find so fascinating about her. Because even though we didn't get the name of the Toshi no Mi until very, very recently, it was abundantly clear what her devil fruit power was: age manipulation, which meant right from the beginning, there was a very real possibility that the Bonnie we were seeing was not the actual Bonnie. Could she be older? Could she be younger? Who knows? And I just loved her attitude. So yeah, she's been my favorite of the worst generation ever since Shibondi Archipelago. Kuma looking in on her. He's proud. Seeing her for the last time as himself. Luffy just laid out St. Charles. Woohoo! Couldn't happen to a more deserving fella. That's an act of high treason, the likes of which none have accomplished in many centuries. Leave behind the mark of my existence in Bonnie and the future of this boy. He knows. One day in the future, you will be the man who saves the world. Vegapunk still fighting to let Kuma keep at least a little bit of himself. I would like to protect their home until one of the crew returns to. I am distilled in the body the stories of a warrior who rides the rhythm of liberation and brings smiles to all. If there is a hero who will bring a great transformation to this sea, I think it must be him. It will vanish once touched. Okay, never mind on the SBS question. Yeah. Your death is a nuisance to every person who's ever known and loved you. Thank you. For saving Bonnie. If you see Bonnie, would you pass on a message? A very happy 10th birthday. Fuck. Holy shit. Sorry. That just. Wow. Poor Bonnie. Okay, I was right about including Kuma's perspective on Thriller Bark and Shimondi Archipelago. But I was wrong about how to end the flashback. Or, well, okay, the last part of the flashback I was right about that it would end with the procedure that would be the final conversion, taking away the last of his humanity. What I was wrong about is immediately following the flashback. I figured the chapter would end with Kuma showing up at Egghead. And that would be a really powerful ending for the chapter. We get the end of the flashback, which I already expected this a major emotional weight. And then Kuma arrives and Bonnie sees the condition he's in, which would be another emotional blow that I figured would be just as much, if not more. I figured that would be the heaviest way that the transition out of the flashback could be handled. I was wrong. Holy shit, I was wrong. Damn. That hurts. Wow, there is so much to unpack with this chapter. Is there a chapter next week? See full chapter list. New chapter coming in 12 days. 12 days. So it'll be on Thursday instead of Sunday. Hopefully that'll become the norm, because that is a far quicker turnaround after the Japanese drops. I won't have to be as careful, or I won't have to be careful for as long after the scanlations come out. Okay, so 12 days. I'll have to remember that. Remember that it will not be on Sunday. Wait, no. Today is Sunday. So 12 days would be Friday, not Thursday. Baka. Still, that's well earlier. But anyways, this chapter, holy shit. Wow. Where do I even start with that? I mean, it was fun getting to see Bonnie finding her identity as a pirate. And the way it used the Straw Hats adventures, references to the Straw Hats adventures, to keep us up to date on when this stuff is happening. We see Pirate Bonnie, and we know when that is, because right after that it talks about the Straw Hats defeated Arlong and his pirates. Then we get to see a few panels of various people talking about that. People that we didn't yet know at the time it happened. So, I mean, if these four reaction panels to Luffy defeating Arlong would have been utterly meaningless. If we had seen them back at the end of Arlong Park. If these had appeared in the chapter with all of the other bounty reactions, it would have been, wait, who the hell are all these people? Who's this dude in the top hat? The guy with the weird marks on his face. And what's Logtown? Who's Captain Smoker? Who's this Jinbei guy? Who's the guy in the hat talking to him, showing him Luffy's poster? And who's this dude with the weird ears on his head? Who's the furry? Talking about both of our children. So yeah, that even though we're supposed to be following Kuma and Bonnie here, it was nice getting these other reactions. And then we cut back to Bonnie laying out her rules of being a pirate. The ironclad laws of piratey behavior. Just so adorable. I want a poster with Bonnie's laws of piratey behavior. I need a printout of that. Put it back over there once I get those boxes dealt with. Have a picture of Bonnie on there with it, of course. Maybe her Jolly Roger or something. Steal whatever you want from bad guys. Don't help other people unless they need it. The jewelry on her cheek so Daddy can recognize that it's her. Then we cut back to Egghead, and we get context for when this is happening now, with Kuma and Vegapunk talking about the boy who declared war on the world government, which of course tells us that this was at NES Lobby. Then we just go direct to overlap with Thriller Bark. Brief in between talking about preparations for Ace's execution and how all of the Shichibukai are ordered to be present. And then we go to Shibondi Archipelago. This Kuma's whole flashback has been powerful, but this quite possibly was the most powerful chapter of it all. And for any Vegapunk doubters out there, this should have definitely taken away that doubt. Vegapunk absolutely was not on board with this. He did it because he had to. And it was abundantly clear that panel on page 15, that it broke him to do this to his friend. Tell her I wish her a very happy 10th birthday. Oh, I can't. And then so yeah, that was an intense chapter. Oda Sensei, you have outdone yourself. I'm a very emotional person, anyways. Whenever I do start going back and doing reactions and reviews of older chapters, you'll see something similar to this in the Kokoyashi Village arc, in NES Lobby, and right after, on the way back to Water 7. You know what I'm talking about. Probably Drum Island. So, a few other places maybe. Off the top of my head, I think this is all that's in my mind right now. Wow. So there we have it. Chapter 1102. Damn good chapter. Clearly, we are out of the flashback now, because we have present day Bonnie in the outfit she is wearing at Egghead in that final panel. Okay, I need to switch tabs. I'm gonna keep breaking down if I keep looking at that. Yes, that chapter was incredible, Daniel. Wow. She does. He did tell her not to touch it. That makes me wonder. It makes me wonder now, because Vegapunk said that he had a way to observe the memories without touching it. And it makes me wonder, did she actually touch and absorb the memories, or did she use whatever means Vegapunk had of observing the memories without touching the bubble? Is that memory bubble still there? So even though we now know if anyone touches it, it disappears, the question of whether it is still there is still a valid one, because Vegapunk told Kuma, that he had another means of observing it. And yeah, Vegapunk did tell her that not to touch it. He told her she wasn't supposed to see that, not to touch it. You got emotional over it. I got you in tears. I'm sorry. Oh. Somehow I can't imagine that you got as emotional over it as I did. I'm I feel things very deeply. In case you can't tell. And even when I come back and reread this later, like in a few years, I'm still gonna have this same reaction. It's still gonna hit me just like this. I mean, I've watched the movie Turner and Hooch countless times. I love that movie. It is my favorite movie with Tom Hanks. And I'm not even going to try and put a number on it. But still, every damned time I cry at the end. I know it's coming. I know how it ends. And it has not lost any of the impact. I still cry. I feel things way too deeply sometimes. So, yeah. Yeah, I hope that Vegapunk went against Saturn's orders and incorporated whatever it was he was talking about that would let Kuma retain some degree of self, because I want Kuma to see Gear 5th Luffy. I want that. That needs to be a thing. Kuma earned that. Oh my god. Kuma earned that. He earned the right to see Nika in person, with at least part of his own mind still there. He needs to see Luffy in Gear 5th. And I still feel like he's going to die, but I want him to have enough of himself left to see Luffy in Gear 5th, recognize him for what he is. And I'm honestly, I want his last words to be, Nika, save my daughter, or something akin to that. Or thanking him for saving his daughter. Even that sounds like a very Kuma thing, actually, now that I think about it. He sees Gear 5th Luffy, recognizes him as Nika outright, not just Nika like, as he said in this chapter in the flashback. And his faith in Nika is so strong that even though it hasn't happened yet, he knows that Nika will save his daughter. So instead of asking him to, Kuma just tells him, thank you. Yeah, that was my first thought, but now that I think about it, I think I don't even think he's going to ask. He has faith in Nika that it will happen. That's just who Nika is. And because of that faith, he's not going to ask. He will just thank him for doing it, even though it's not done yet. Nika, I know you will save my daughter. Thank you. Thank you for saving her. So yeah, that I think that would be just perfect for him. Wow. So yeah, it would, wouldn't it? And I see something along those lines being Kuma's last words. Thank you, Nika, because I know you'll save my daughter. Well, okay. So there we have it. Chapter 1102. Uh, According to the Viz website, the next chapter is in 12 days. So I will do a reaction stream then to that chapter as well as the newest episodes of the anime at that point. It's getting back to real episodes with the next one. Thank God. That having yet another Wano recap episode on this newest one really pissed me off. We're done with Wano, damn it. Just get off of that shit. Sorry. In the meantime, I'm having problems with my video editing software. I've got 5 videos that I've recorded and I'm trying to get edited. And it's not going well. My editing software is basically giving me the middle finger. So I'm thinking I might try and download a new video editor to try and get that done. I'm not going to put all 5 of them up at once, even if I do suddenly get it to work or when I do get another editor. I will space those out a bit. I've also got another 4 or 5 scripts ready beyond that I'm not even going to try and record yet because I've got such a backlog that I still need to edit. But I do have plenty of content lined up and just having technical difficulties, which is why it's not getting posted. That's why all I'm doing right now are these streams. So I want to apologize for that. And the next video that I will be putting up will be my thoughts on what should be done with season 2 of the live action series and a few summary thoughts of season 1. After that, the next video after my live action season 2 video will be a really short one. It's a trailer for a series of videos that I'm doing. And the next 3 I have after that are already recorded are all part of that series. Oh, wait, that's right. I recorded one other one that's not a part of the series. I will either do that before the trailer or after the trailer before I start the actual series. I don't know. I'm not going to put it in the middle of the series, though. So, yeah. But the other video that's not part of that series of videos is about Laugh Tale and what is waiting there. I am not going to go into specifics, but I was watching another video which inspired an idea that I have not heard anybody suggest about Laugh Tale or what is waiting there. So, to my knowledge, it is an entirely new theory. So that's something to look ahead to. Other than that, I just want to thank you for hanging out with me. Sorry I brought you to tears with my own tearful reaction to that chapter. And I hope you have a great Christmas too. Have a Merry Otak Christmas. And thanks for hanging out with me. One Piece Oni, Ore wa naru.